If it wasn't for Rastafari, I and I would have no strength to survive.
The only way to reality is AYV Radio. For news, views, interviews, and entertainment, it has to be AYV Radio, the voice of the young generation.
Hold your book and pen, straight up. Body man, so you know go they depend. Pick up your bag and go school.
Forum for Education. Forum for Education, a program where they come to you every Friday from 5.
The only way to reality is AYV Radio. For news, views, interviews, and entertainment, it has to be AYV Radio, the voice of the young generation.
Yeah, pick up your bag and go school. Know what if mommy send you picking go school if you no get.
They say education is the key to success, but is it just the beginning of life? Let's find out together. Forum for Education is here, your ultimate platform to explore everything about Sierra Leone's education system. Join us every Thursday from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. on AYV Radio 101.7 FM as we dive deep into the world of learning. We're bringing you insightful discussions with key players in education, from the Ministry of Education to teachers, students, parents, and experts in primary, secondary, technical, and vocational education. This is your show. Be part of the conversation by sending your text messages and sharing your thoughts on our topic of the day. Tune in every Thursday at 2 p.m. on AYV Radio 101.7 FM. Follow us live on Facebook, AYV Radio. Stream online at www.ayvnews.com. Education shapes the future. Let's talk about it. Don't miss out.
Yeah, pick up your bag and go school. Know what if mommy send you picking go school.
Good afternoon and welcome to the maiden edition of Forum for Education. You are listening to us on 11.7 FM on AYV Radio. We are also streaming live online on www.ayvnews.com. My name is George Batilo Powell.
Yeah, pick up your bag and go school. Know what if mommy send you picking go school if you no get.
They say education is the key to success, but is it just the beginning of life? Let's find out together. Forum for Education is here. Your students, parents, and experts in primary, secondary, technical, and vocational education. This is your show on Facebook, AYV Radio. Stream online at www.ayvnews.com. Education shapes the future. Let's talk about it. Don't miss out.
Yeah, pick up your bag and go school. Know what if mommy send you picking go school.
Well, Forum for Education dives deep into the issues and development within and around Sierra Leone's education sector. The program is aired on Thursdays at 2 and ends at 3 p.m. Should you like to have your voices heard on what we are discussing on today's show, kindly send an SMS message to the number 090-101-107 or comment on our Facebook live streaming page.
Yeah, pick up your bag and go school. Know what if mommy send you picking go school if you no get.
They say education is the key to success, but is it just the beginning of...
Our quote for today's program is from Benjamin Franklin, a former American scientist, writer, and statesman, which says an investment in knowledge pays the best interest.
Yeah, pick up your bag and go school. Know what if mommy send you picking go school.
Today we shall be discussing the upcoming teachers mandatory registration, which was proposed by the Teaching Service Commission (TSC). The exercise is to commence on the 14th and runs through to the 24th March 2025. Before we commence discussions, please listen to this report which I put together about the upcoming mandatory teachers registration.
The Teaching Service Commission was established by an Act of Parliament in 2011, and one of its mandates, as provided by the TSC Act, is to register and license all teachers. The Commission is also set to undertake a mandatory teachers registration on the 14th to the 24th March 2025.
I am Mrs. Jami Victi Sanko, and I am the Public Relations Manager for Teaching Service Commission in Sierra Leone. We want to launch the National mandatory nationwide teacher registration exercise, which the Commission is set to commence on the 14th of March 2025. This is in line with the mandate of the Commission to develop and maintain a register of all teachers in the country. So we are going to start on the 14th of March and we will end on the 24th of March 2025. We are not focusing only on payroll teachers and we are not leaving out payroll teachers. So this is for every teacher in the country.
Jamie further explained about the process of the teachers' mandatory registration.
So we are going to do it in this format. The Commission has its trainers that had originally been trained to do teacher registration. And these trainers will in turn train over 1,000 focal persons that will be deployed in community. In fact, these focal persons are drawn from communities and they will be the ones that will now go to schools across the country.
For some teachers, this move is in support with the TSC Act and help to gather data for future support to their welfare.
I am Mrs. Geneva Dinsoye, Acting Vice Principal, Government Middle School. As long as it is mandatory, it is their duty and it is our responsibility as teachers to take the registration. As long as it is according to the Act of TSC. We are expecting teachers to be part of the registration and I'm encouraging all teachers to be part of the registration.
Yes, my name is Karim Samoa Koma. So I think that will help so that we need to have an accurate data record. How best to do to know exactly how they will be able to cater for the welfare of the teachers. Because without a clear data record for the teachers, it's absolutely going to be a little bit problem for the welfare of the teachers will be considered by the government.
In Abukonte, District Officer, Teaching Service Commission, Konadugu District. A lot of challenges we are facing. We are investigating because the act is yet to start. The activity is yet to start. But one key challenge we think is ahead of us is the network, internet. Because we are in this district, a lot of children don't know have network, don't talk about internet. Systems like Tamisu 1, Tamisu 2, Bongo Kayaka, Kamuke, and even bigger chiefdoms like Dian, closer to us here, not every aspect of the chiefdom have a network on, let's say, internet. So, and what we're going to use, the platform, you cannot access the teacher offline. You have to use the internet directly, and we are, it's just supposed to be, we have community focal points that will go to the schools, meet the teacher in their workplace, and then do the registration. So it's going to be a challenge, especially those schools where there are no network or internet facilities.
I am Alhaji Mohammed Jallo, the Deputy District Director for the Sierra Leone Teaching Service Commission in Konadugu District. Well, this is the first time we are doing it. So if you do something once and then you from experience, you'll be able to know that this and this and this is the challenge. We do not foresee too many challenges. We hope to be able, with the people we are recruiting, we hope to be able to find a way to bridge those gaps, those challenges. The internet might be one, it is not everywhere that is internet. And I think the system is internet based. That might be a challenge, but I think we'll find a way. The people that are going to do the job for us will definitely find a way of overcoming that challenge.
George Batilo Powell, AYV News, Freetown.
Welcome back. Joining me on the panel today are Public Relations Manager, Teaching Service Commission, Ms. Jamie Victory Sanko, and the Recruitment, Selection and Matriculation Lead, Teach for Sierra Leone, Samuel Rashid Jawad. Good afternoon and welcome.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thanks for this.
Good afternoon.
All right, so I will start with you, Jamie. You have heard the concerns raised by teachers. What plans do you actually have to reach the suburb community schools to register their teachers?
Okay. We have planned to reach every teacher in the country. This is why we have tried as best as possible to decentralize the recruitment of enumerators. Well, we call them focal persons, the people that are actually going to be doing the registration exercise. So our strategy for this exercise, what we did was we put out an advert, but strictly requesting that we want focal persons living within these chiefdoms to apply to render their services. These focal persons will in turn be trained to carry out the exercise. So it's because we want to reach every teacher in the country, like you said, including those in the suburbs, in the very, very hard to reach areas, very, very far to reach areas. That's why we have ensured to recruit focal persons from within their communities. So we want to believe that will help us to surmount that particular challenge. Because of course, definitely, if we had said, okay, let's recruit people from Freetown to go do the exercise, that would have been the most difficult. Or we say, let's recruit people from the district headquarter towns to go do it, that would also have been a challenge. That's why we decided to go at chiefdom level.
But you heard the directors of education at Kwenadugu district, they mentioned that network is a big challenge, and I believe you are going to use technology in order to register. What things have you put in place to address the network issue?
Okay, like they rightly say, that's definitely going to be a challenge because it's not everywhere in Sierra Leone that is powered by internet connectivity. But I want to believe over 70% of the country now do have access to. So what, as part of the training we'll be giving to these enumerators, where they have network coverage, they will do the registration seamlessly on the portal that's being developed for this exercise. But where there is no network, we have also made arrangements for how they will collect the data offline, and when they get to where they can access network, because of course we have district supervisors, we have chiefdom supervisors, and when they come together to do collation at the end of the day, they will get to be connected and they will do the syncing of the data online.
All right. To you, Rashid Jawad from Teach for Schools, do you think by having data of teachers in the country is necessary?
Oh yes, I strongly believe it is necessary, and this is a right move by the Teaching Service Commission. I want to applaud them for this initiative, because you cannot just say there are teachers all over the country and you don't have a data for them. It will be very difficult for even the commission to trace the number of teachers they have, number of teachers that are pin coded, number of teachers that are trained. So this initiative is actually important, and I want to encourage every other teacher out there for them to register.
Also, do you think by having this data will urge the government for most teachers without pin codes to have some?
Oh yes, I want to say having this data, which the commission is actually, keen about getting, it will now inform the policies of the government, yeah, because many times we see the census going on in this country, and what they say is for us, when we have this census, we have the data that will inform policies in relations to development and all that. So that is just the same the Teaching Service Commission is also doing. Having this data now will inform them that, for instance, in Kwenadugu, the numbers of teachers that are there are not enough for the numbers of school there. That is just an instance. in Koinadugu, we don't have much trained and qualified teachers. So I believe this is actually important.
To you again, Mrs. Jami Vixie Sanko.
Yes.
So one may want to know what category of teachers are you going to register? Is it just pin-coded teachers or all the teachers in the country?
Well, the exercise will target registration of all teachers in the country, including teachers in private schools as well as public schools. Most times when we talk about teacher registration, especially when it's the Teaching Service Commission that is doing it, like for example when we started the licensing, and people were like, okay, we are not teachers that government pays, so that's not for us. But I want everybody to know that this particular exercise is for all teachers. The idea is for the institution to know who are actually the people in the classroom giving out teaching service or teaching the children that we have in Sierra Leone. So it's for all teachers, pin-coded teachers, non-pin teachers, qualified teachers, non-qualified teachers, public school teachers, private school teachers. This is for everybody that says I am a teacher, whether you're qualified or not, as long as you're in the classroom teaching. So that's why we say it's a mandatory registration for all teachers. Yes, so it's for all teachers.
So what if a teacher failed to register?
Well, if a teacher fails to register, especially when it's deliberate, maybe you say, I don't take this seriously and I don't think I should be part of it, then you are trying to tell us that you're not a teacher. Because like I said, we want to have a register of all the teachers in the country. So if you're not on the register, then you are not a teacher. I'm sure there are those extreme cases. Maybe someone is sick, maybe someone is on sick leave, maternity leave, or study leave. Even in that case, we'll take a record of that person, taking down snapshots of documents that supports that person. So you will not just say Mr. Bangura is supposed to be here but he's on study leave. How is he on study leave? Where's the document that confirms and that supports his being on study leave? So if he's not there, then we take it to be, if he's not there and there's no document to support his not being there, then it's not authentic. Then maybe he could account as one of the ghost teachers. But every teacher will be registered. When the enumerators go to school, we will ensure that we create the platform to register all teachers. So I'll advise every teacher to register, because if you refuse to be registered, then you're telling us you are not a teacher in Sierra Leone.
So Rashid, do you agree with the punishment?
Oh yes, I do agree. The Teaching Service Commission, they are our boss, for us at Teach for Sierra Leone, because that's why whatever we are doing, we work in close we are in close partnership with them. Yeah, we just finished our regional stakeholders engagement. They were invited, and we held the first one in Bo, in Makeni, and we are here in Freetown. All the DDs, the TSC DDs in those districts, we are invited because we are working with them. Yeah, so this is actually important, and I want to say to my boss here that for us at Teach for Sierra Leone, we have fellows. We call our teachers fellows, but she's saying once you are in the classroom, impacting knowledge, you have to be registered. So I want to assure her that every fellow that is part of the Teach for Sierra Leone Fellowship, we have 137 fellows presently that are serving. I want to say all of them are going to be registered. That is
that would be great.
All right. So, Jami, do you is this the first data we are having of teachers in the country?
Well, I do not want to say this is the first, but I'll say this is the first real-time data, because what we want to do now, we are going to the field. In the past, we've had counts for teachers. Every year the ministry does annual school census, and they will go to private schools, they will go to government schools, they will go to schools across the country, and at the end of the day we'll get the report to say The private schools in the country have 50,000 teachers, just an example. The government schools in the country has 60,000 teachers. And most times what you will notice, well, we all know there is this rumor around, and that's actually something that is going on, that is actually happening in the country. There are some people that will be teaching in one government school and also teaching part-time in another private school, and those people will be double counted. But because now we have a system, I will say a biometric system, no teacher will be double counted. So if you have been counted in a private school, you will not be counted in a government school. If you have been counted, right. You know, I'm laughing because I know so many people will take this one, but you will not be double counted. So I'll say this is the first real-time data we will have on teachers in the country.
Rashid, the first data we will have for teachers in the country, do you think is necessary and timely?
Yes, it is necessary, and she's saying the first real data, so which means we have been lagging behind, you know, but then it's never too late.
Yeah.
So they say, is that not so? So if the commission is now saying we are doing this at this time, so this is just the right time, so I believe it is timely.
All right, so one may want to ask the impact this process will create, especially when it causes to the welfare of teachers, Mrs. Jami.
The impact this exercise will create, especially when it comes to the welfare of teachers, I say, like Rashid initially said, this data will help us plan generally for the teaching workforce in the country. Now, it tells us how many people we have. It tells us how many people we have to work with. You know, most times we'll talk, oh, we need to advocate for the welfare of the teachers. But again, it comes with financial implication. If you don't know how many people you're advocating for, how do you forecast what are the financial implications for this raise or for this improvement in the welfare of these teachers? So it helps a lot in the planning. And I want to believe it will even help our kids, because it helps us to know the kind of teachers we have and what kind of support we can give to these teachers in order to help the kids in the classroom. It helps us to also know where actually teachers are needed, or where qualified teachers are needed, because of course it's definitely uneven across the country, but it helps us to generally properly plan for the development of education, for the development of learning outcomes in the for the children, and even for the development of the teachers themselves when it comes to their welfare.
So Jawad, a lot of challenges in the teaching field. Is it timely, like I said before, you've not answered that question, is it timely to have this registration done, or rather tackle the challenges teachers are facing?
Well, tackling the challenges teachers are facing at this moment and doing this mandatory registration is also part of solving the problem or the challenges the teachers are facing presently. Yeah? Because how? Yeah. Just like I said in my introduction, that you cannot cater for the well-being of the teachers if you don't know the amount of teachers that are in the classroom. It will be impossible. Yeah. For instance, we are at AYV. If I want to buy a sachet of water for everybody here, I need to know the amount of people that are in the studio.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this mandatory registration, I think it is timely to address the problems the teachers are having presently. It is part of the solution.
So Jami, how far will the process of getting this registration started on the 14th?
So we're waiting for the 14th, but again we are still on the planning. We're tying loose ends, tying other knots here and there. So currently we're at the stage of training the facilitators, well, not the facilitators, the focal persons. We will start this training this Saturday, and that will last for maybe up to the 11th or 13th, and then the focal persons will now go back to their communities and start doing the work. But we'll start the training. That's in fact, before coming here, I just got out of a meeting, a management meeting, where we are just putting all the plans together, the teams that are going to do the training. And in fact, I left them there when I came here. So we're right on top of the situation. It's still on course.
All right. So, Jawad, you mentioned earlier you have fellows for the Teach for School Sierra Leone. How many of them have pin codes?
Well, it is actually Teach for Sierra Leone. Yeah. Just last year, the Teaching Service Commission also came up with the licensure examination.
Yeah.
Is that also?
Yes.
Yeah. So us at Teach for Sierra Leone, because we have fellows who have education, we have fellows that have TC, HCC, and degree in education. So we encourage them strongly that you have to register for this licensure examination, and they actually did. They registered. I think 73 of them registered last year. They sat to the exam. 69 passed the exam, and the Teaching Service Commission, through the government of Sierra Leone, gave us 43 PIN codes to our fellows. Yeah, so those 43, they are now actually absorbed into the education system in Sierra Leone. So I want to say thank you to to my sister here, Madam Jami, and going forward, Teach for Sierra Leone is still with you. Don't forget us in whatever thing that we are doing.
All right.
So this is actually,
out of 73 or so,
yeah.
Okay, 43 have PIN codes.
Yes.
So don't you think that is alarming rather than having the registration of them?
Well, it is actually not alarming. I want to say the numbers of teachers across the country, it is actually huge, even though we don't have proper statistics to that at this moment, but it is huge. So for TSC to give us 43 PIN codes, there have been teachers who have been in this country, they have taught for 4, 5, 6 years, they have applied. So,
let me help you with that, Jawad. We have over 90,000 teachers in the country, and over 50,000 are teachers without PIN codes.
Okay.
We have about 40,000 on the payroll, a little above 40,000, 45, 46,000 on the payroll that are teaching. Yeah, teachers with PIN codes.
Okay, so you've just heard from Jami saying that we have 50,000 teachers without PIN code.
Yes.
Stay tuned as we get back shortly after the break. The program you are listening to is Forum for Education, which you are listening to live on AYV Radio 101.7 FM. You can also listen to us online on www.ayvnews.com. I am George Batilo Powell.
AYV Radio 101.7 FM, when are the most listened to radio na Salone, na the radio station where they bring you latest current affairs news them, entertainment and education. AYV Radio, they operate 24 hours and 7 days a week. So always listen to AYV Radio on 101.7 FM.
We get program then make inside the Barre Magazine program. Back to this show, waiting then at the table, Wise Up Salone, Community Talk, Hot Box, The Hype Show, and Poku other one them.
AYV Radio, then a Freetown, Godrich, Waterloo, Port Locker, Makeni, Bo, Kenema, and Konosef. If you want for sponsor any of we radio show, na for come na we headquarter office, na Freetown.
We operate 24 hours online streaming. You can get we online on www.ayvnews.com.
For let people them know more about your business, event, product, or anything where you want for let people know about, na for come na AYV Media Empire headquarter within a number 3 Wesley Street, na Freetown, and come do your business with me.
You can also call me on +232 99199335 or +232 7672 8666. AYV for you, AYV for me, AYV for we all. Because AYV na in Salon Sabi.
Time tiny pinch you feel every time transfer fees chip away at your hard-earned cash? Well, imagine a world where that wahala vanishes. With AfriMoney, you can now send your money for free! Not just on special days, but every single day. Wherever you are, free! You can send from 1, 5, 10, 50, or even 5 million leones free to any AfriMoney number. Just picture it, you waving tata to those fees. Just dial *161# in style and smile. Go cashless, feeling so priceless. Doing it the quick and easy way, the AfriMoney way. Because, let's be honest, great things truly come to those who dial *161#. For more information, call 161. AfriMoney, it's quick and easy.
Yeah, pick up your bag and go school. No what if mommy send you picking go school if you not get.
They say education is the key to success, but is it just the beginning of life? Let's find out together. Forum for Education is here, your ultimate platform to explore everything about Sierra Leone's education system. Join us every Thursday from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. on AYV Radio 101.7 FM as we dive deep into the world of learning. We're bringing you insightful discussions with key players in education, from the Ministry of Education to teachers, students, parents and experts in primary, secondary, technical and vocational education. This is your show. Be part of the conversation by sending your text messages and sharing your thoughts on our topic of the day. Tune in every Thursday at 2 p.m. on AYV Radio 101.7 FM. Follow us live on Facebook, AYV Radio. Stream online at www.ayvnews.com. Education shapes the future. Let's talk about it. Don't miss out.
Yeah, pick up your bag and go school. No what if mommy send you picking go school.
Alright, welcome back. Joining me on the panel, we have Public Relations Manager, Teaching Service Commission, Jami Victor Sanko, and the Recruitment Selection and Matriculation Lead, Teach for Sierra Leone, Samuel Rashid Jawad. So to continue this discussion, but please be reminded that you can lend your voices to the program by dropping an SMS to the number 090101107 or comment on our Facebook live streaming. So let me start with you, Jami. What act gave you the mandate to register teachers in the country?
Okay, we are going by the Education Act of Sierra Leone and also the Teaching Service Commission Act of 2011. If you go through the Teaching Service Commission Act of 2011 under Section 9, that spells out the responsibilities of the commission. It states that the commission has the responsibility to register all teachers in the country, maintain a register, and publish that register in the National Gazette. So we are going by that act, and that is why we have started the registration of teachers this year.
So how do you look at the qualification of teachers? Because we have some teachers who are doing a voluntary job. They are from high schools and all. So are you going to register this kind of teachers?
So like I said, during this exercise, we will register everybody in the classroom. So everyone in the classroom giving out teaching service, those are the people we will register, because we want to know who are the people teaching our kids. So if it has been rumored that we have so percent of teachers that are not qualified, or we have so percent of teachers that are not even trained teaching our kids at this and this level, this data is supposed to inform that particular rumor or allegation. That's what we want to know. So whether it's high school graduates, whoever is in the classroom, that person is going to be registered. The second part of your question, you're talking about how do we determine who is qualified to be in the classroom. To be qualified as a teacher, you must have gone through a training in education, and you are trained in pedagogy, That means you have been given the skills to teach in the classroom situation. And before your graduation, you have gone on teaching practice, you have been observed and have been certified that you passed your teaching practice. So that qualifies you to be a teacher. So that means, with that being said, I would say no matter your degree, no matter what you have studied, if you have not gone through this process, then you're not qualified to be a teacher. Me talking to you here, I went to Jala University. I studied Bachelor of Arts in Education, and my major was linguistics and minor literature. During the course of my study, I did 3 years of training in education, and at the end of the day, I went for teaching practice. Even though I studied English and literature, but I had a training in education. I had my colleagues that studied the same course that I studied in another institution. Like when I was in college, I had a very good friend. We studied together, we shared materials together. He was also studying linguistics at FBC. But we studied the same. We did the same 4 years. We studied the same course. We did the same 4 years course. But because he did not go through education, when we graduated, I went to the classroom. And even though we both went to the classroom, but I will not say he's a teacher. He's a qualified teacher. We both went to the classroom and we were both teaching English language, but he's not a teacher. So for that person now to say, okay, I have the knowledge in English language and literature, but I want to know how to teach. I want to be trained as a teacher. That person can simply go for a postgraduate diploma in education, and that makes the person a teacher. I hope this.
But we have some that are going there just for to earn money, to ascertain that job for the moment while they await better jobs.
Yeah.
So are you still going to register them?
So yeah, we are aware of the fact that we have people in the classroom that are just there, waiting for better opportunities. Like I said, this is why the commission is here. Because one thing, as part of the mandate of the commission, is to professionalize the teaching career. So people get to know that it is not just somewhere you go to wait for rain, or you go to say, let me just sit here and wait for better days. It's a place where you have to be trained. You are interested in doing it, you get trained to do it, and then you go and do it. We believe that is where we get effectiveness. So yes, you're asking if we're going to register. Yes, like I said, we'll register everybody that is there now, because we want to know who is there and how we can support whoever is there.
Jawad, do you think it's essential to register not professional teachers? I'm thinking about the aspect, the security aspect of our children going to school. So to ascertain knowledge for people who are not professional and yet still they are being registered.
Just like what Jamie was saying, yeah, that they just want to capture everybody that is in the classroom, and in doing that, they will now discern those that are qualified. For instance, she said she has a colleague who also did linguistics at Forobe College. She did hers at Jala. They both went into the classroom. She's being considered as a teacher, but the other person is not being considered as a teacher. I also fall in that category. I could recall when I joined the Teach for Sierra Leone Fellowship in 2021, I was sent to SLC Primary School in Pepe. I read political science for Forobe College. I was recruited, I was trained at Teach for Sierra Leone to go into the classroom. But I will not consider myself as a teacher because I don't have a background from the teaching field. Yeah. But what we have been doing for us at Teach for Sierra Leone over the years is that if you have qualification in another field of study, we enhance that, we enroll you. We are now in full partnership with the University of McKinney Unimac for you to have a PGD in education. Yeah. That will now enhance your stay in the classroom. So with this what the TSC intends doing in few weeks to go, that will now inform them that we have XY amount of teachers, people who are in the classroom, they are actually impacting knowledge, but they are not teachers per se, trained and qualified teachers. So that will inform their decisions. Perhaps they will say, okay, we want to cater for these people to have qualification in education. Let's say we cannot rule that out because they are in the classroom, and some are in love with the class. I could recall doing my fellowship time, yeah, and there was a message that all those who are interested in to stay in the classroom, write out your name. I registered my name with the organization, but the organization came back to me and said, no, we cannot register you as a teacher because you don't have a qualification in education. So there are actually people who go to the classroom, they love being in the classroom. So having this data, and that will inform all the decision to, you know, capacitate them, give them training, and even certify them to stay in the classroom. So I think it's actually necessary.
All right, so let's now get the thoughts on the discussion from people who commented on our Facebook page. So let me start with Edima Conte. She says, good job, Mr. Presenter. Samri is questioning you. What are the long-term implication of mandatory registration? Ibrahim Sudais is saying, do you think TSC should do what do you think TSC should do to get all teachers registered across the country, and how this will happen? Where road network is another challenge in some communities in the provinces. Yeo Jalo is saying, how will they ensure the registration meets teachers in the hard-to-reach areas, provinces? Christosia Williams is saying, what steps are being taken to ensure that the registration process is transparent and fair? So I believe, Jami, you start by answering the question.
Yes, of course, I know all those questions are for me. Now, I would say, I don't know why we're thinking about fairness here. The commission is going out to register every teacher in the classroom, whoever they meet there. That's the first thing. So I don't know what fairness the person is talking about. We will ensure that the personnel, you know, everybody is there. We have the focal persons going out there to do the registration, and whoever they meet there. I don't know whatever they will call unfair again in this process. Well, we can look at it, but I want to believe it's a fair process. Because we want to give every teacher the opportunity to be registered. We are also even looking at, because in one of the conversations we had recently, an idea came up that what if we make the registration available online, so people who already are tech savvy or they are able to operate their Android devices can register themselves. We are also looking at that option. So you will not say, they went to my school but they did not register me. Actually, I don't know, but we will try to see how we can do that. But we want to make sure that the teachers that we meet in the classroom are the ones that we register. Somebody is asking, how will we ensure that the registration gets to every teacher in the country? We are going to the schools and not the homes. That is how we'll make sure it gets to teachers. We are not calling teachers to come and meet us in our offices, where there will be challenges of, my chiefdom or where I am located is very far from the office. I do not have that money to pay the transfer to go there, which is actually legit, and we do not want to leave room for that. So we're going to meet the teachers. We have not selected enumerators that are coming from Freetown. Neither have we selected enumerators that are coming from district headquarter towns. But we have carefully recruited enumerators from within their chiefdoms to make sure that the distances are not too far for the enumerators, just because we want every school to be reached. We know that we're aware of the terrains, the different terrains in the country. Fortunately for me, I will say here, I've gone to every district in the country. So we know, and we have offices in every district of the country. We know what it means to go to Kamakwe. We know how it feels to go to Bendugu. We know how it feels to go to Mobai, or the farthest points of Kailaun, or the farthest points of Pujiam. We know how it feels to go to Bont Island. So we have considered all those factors to see. That is why we have recruited enumerators from within the communities that will help us do the registration. That is how we intend to reach every teacher in the country.
All right, so let's know the terms and regulations for teachers to be qualified to get registered. What are they to provide? Is it biometric, or are they to go with ID cards? What are they to provide?
Okay, so we are asking for every teacher, when you go to your classroom, if you are going to tell the enumerators that I am a payroll teacher, then you must have an appointment letter, whether from your school or from your mission or whatever. You must have an appointment letter to be there. If you're going to say you are a Sierra Leonean, you have a national ID card, you must, if you're going to say I am Victor Cisse, you must have an identification card that says you are Victor Cisse. So we'll advise that you ensure that you have your national ID card with you. If you do not have a national ID card, as long as you're an adult, I believe you must have voted in Sierra Leone, then you have your voter's ID card. But you must have a form of identification with you. If you're going to tell the enumerators that I am a qualified teacher, then you must have your certificates with you that shows that you're a trained and qualified teacher. So let's say I was teaching and I know that this exercise is coming up. I would have my BA certificate, my Master's in Education certificate, or my TC certificate with me. If you're going to tell the enumerators that I am a trained personnel in the area that I teach, so I studied BA General in Geography and I'm teaching Geography in this classroom, you have a certificate that says you are trained in BA General. You graduated with a BA General in Geography. You have it with you. So we're encouraging every teacher during this week, when you go to school, to ensure that those documents are with you. If you are a payroll teacher, we also want to have data on maybe your dependents, because there are other things, there are other benefits for payroll teachers and their dependents that we might talk about in maybe another discussion. So we'll advise, if you're a payroll teacher, you should have your NACIT ID card, and you should have your birth certificate for your dependents below 18 with you. So those are the things. But basically, for every other person, you should have a form of identification, and maybe if you say you are qualified, then you should have a proof of your qualification.
Jawa, do you have recommendations to some of these challenges?
No, at this moment I will not say so, because
the bad road, poor network.
Just like what Madam Jami was saying, for instance, the bad roads, the enumerators are actually going to the schools. It is not the teachers who are moving from one place to another place. So the bad road network, it is on the part of the enumerators that the Teaching Service Commission are recruiting, and also even the network problem. She said you can do the registration offline, and when you get to somewhere there is strong internet connectivity, you can just sync in the data. So I will not actually consider this as challenges. Actually.
So you know, okay, as you're talking about challenges, one thing I also want to make clear here is the fact that the Teaching Service Commission has piloted registration in the country for the past 1 year. We completed the development of the Teacher Management Information System portal, which is where we going forward are going to do everything around the management of teachers in the country. And for the whole of 2024, we have piloted teacher legislation, and I'll tell you, we've had over 11,000 teachers that we have already registered on this platform, and it's the same platform that we're going to be using for this registration. So we know how it works, and it's this same platform, yes, that the commission will be using for teacher recruitment, teacher promotion, reassessment, teacher licensing, and every other thing that pertains a teacher in the country.
So before we round off, is this process going to be seen as a testimony for teachers who are not on payroll?
Well, I would say it will be a testimony for all of us that are in the teaching profession or in the teaching service in the country, because like I said, it gives us a clear picture of what entails in the classroom, and it helps us to plan for them. So it helps us to know, okay, you are trained, you are qualified, you are in this school, and this school does not even have that much payroll. The payroll teacher ratio, pupil payroll teacher ratio in that school is really, really very high. Then it gets to inform the commission that this person should be, this particular school needs a payroll teacher. So I would say it's a testimony for all of us.
Okay, so Jawad, your last message to fellow teachers.
Well, my last message before I go, I will say, for us at Teach for Sierra Leone, we are now recruiting the 6th cohort of fellows to join our fellowship. Yeah, we have done 5 recruitments over the years, young university graduates, and we are now doing the 6th recruitment process. The application is actually open. We open it on the 1st of March and it will close on the 30th of April. So if you are out there, you are a young graduate who haven't gotten somewhere to attach yourself, apply with us at Teach for Sierra Leone. The application is quite simple. It's just an online application. So you can visit our Facebook. Just go to Facebook and type Teach for Sierra Leone. The link to the application is there. You can just click on the link and that will take you to the application. Apply with us and let us walk you through how, the classroom and how we can enhance. If you're out there, you're a teacher, you don't have a PIN code, apply with us and see what we can do with the Teaching Service Commission so you can get yourself one. Thank you.
Okay, Jamie, shortly.
Shortly, my last word, I would say somebody was concerned about fairness, and when it comes to teacher recruitment, so many people have been concerned about fairness. I would say, thankfully now, the way the commission operates, our benchmark for teacher recruitment and teacher benefits generally in the country is licensing. You have to be licensed. Some people that are in this habit of saying, how many people do they even have that are qualified? I want to tell you now, as I speak, we have over 5,000 teachers that have been licensed. That means they have attempted and passed the license exam. And in April, we have over 2,000 that are waiting to write the next set of licensure exam that will be happening in April. And we have a bank of teachers that have passed the exams that we are yet to recruit. So now, when it comes to teacher recruitment, you will not be recruited if you have not passed the license exam. So I'll just encourage teachers, go in for the registration. When it's time for licensing, go in to be licensed, because that's actually what makes you to be a teacher.
Thank you very much. That is Jamie Victor Sanko, the Public Relations Manager, Teaching Service Commission, and we also had Rashid Jawad, the matriculation lead for Teach for School Sierra Leone. We hope the 50,000 teachers without PIN code we have PIN codes by the end of this year.
Well,
so this is how just like you are registering on qualified teachers, we hope you do the same for the PIN codes. So this is how we end today's edition of Forum for Education. Don't forget to tune in every Thursday at 2 to 3 p.m. live at AYV Radio 11.7 FM. You can also listen to us online on www.ayvnews.com. Remember, our education inspiring quotation for today is from Benjamin Franklin, which says, an investment in knowledge pays the best interest. I am Jod Batilu Powell, and many thanks to my producers, Mr. Macri, Joseph Samai, and the rest of the team out there.
Yeah, pick up your bag and go school. Know what if mommy send you picking go school if you not get.
They say education is the key to success, but